Welcome to the Scottish Property Podcast. This is a show where we aim to educate, inspire and entertain through real life stories and interviews from people in the Scottish property community.
As always, thanks for listening and give us a follow on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Remember to join us at our monthly networking events on the first Wednesday of every month. Tickets are available on our website. So without further ado, we'll just cut straight into this week's podcast. Luis Guarin, welcome to the Scottish Property Podcast. Once again, you're back.
Thanks for having me.
This time in person, mate. Yes.
I think that was the last episode before you guys came to the studio.
Yeah. So you came on, obviously, as the property power couple, yourself and Gemma. Yeah. Obviously, your other half. You got married, didn't you?
Got married in August last year.
Congratulations,
mate. Yeah.
Much. Yeah. As you said, everyone keeps telling me it goes downhill from here, so...
Not yet. You're still on that honeymoon period.
Damn good looking couple as well, is what we said. So, like, how's things been? I mean, you've been doing a lot, and this is one of the reasons we brought you on today, is because like a lot has changed, obviously. The previous episode that we did with the two of you, obviously you were talking about your own property investing journey and all the rest of it, but I feel like, and obviously you'll tell us if we're wrong, but I feel like you've shifted more your focus into sort of building the business, and obviously you are now Prime Property Auctions with John Morrison.
Yeah.
John Morris. So how's that been going for you? Like, when did you get involved in that, and what kind of started that whole relationship?
So I've been involved with Prime since last October. So I've come on as director and shareholder. So basically me and John are business partners now. But how it came about is John had left Future and was basically started Prime. I knew John from property, so we'd played badminton and stuff together because we like sports. And I was looking to get involved in something property related because my life revolves around the sector anyway. I was going to networking events and stuff. So basically sat down with John and I seen the opportunity of getting involved in something property related with someone that's got so much experience in the sector. So basically came in and I said to John, look, I'll work for free. Don't pay me anything. I just want to learn. Teach me what you know. So we got to work in his attic, which is where he started the business. Dingy wee place. Literally the entrance was probably the width of a person. So I had to squeeze in every morning.
Like a small person or a John Morris sized person?
Me. So I don't know how
he got it.
So we started in there and we realised we had quite a lot of synergies in terms of skill sets. So he's he's a killer at sales. He's excellent at sales.
I've heard you say that before.
For me,
what is sales like to you? What makes a good sale? Like you're saying, he's a killer at sales. What makes him good?
What makes him good is his experience. I think his personality type as well. But experience-wise, there is a lot of nuance to sales. Knowing when to say things, how to say things. And that's only something you get through experience. He's done it for over a decade now. And especially, I mean, he's done one thing for that long. That's something I preach a lot is stick to one thing, focus, and do it for an extended period of time.
But like you say, he's a likeable guy.
Yeah.
He's got the chat.
He's not been a salesperson in multiple industries. He's property focused. He's an investor.
He's a qualified surveyor.
Yeah, exactly. He's got that.
Had all that experience. So I've seen the opportunity with him. I've got some skill sets that maybe matched his, and we talked about strategy. We shared similar visions, and we just realised it was a great opportunity.
What do you think he saw in you then to obviously bring you in as a business partner? What was your skill sets? What were you bringing in?
So I think it's maybe the systems and the that kind of thing. John is incredible what he does, but he's not that. I wouldn't say he's that system wise. That's where my opportunity was to come in and systemize what was in his head, put it into a proper model. Because for example, his task list is sticky notes and what's in his head. But you can't really grow and run a business like that. So I seen the opportunity to come in and help with that kind of stuff.
See, before we dig into the Prime actually, do you want to go back and talk about your background? Because for a young guy, you've already grew and sold a business, haven't you?
Yeah. So basically I got obsessed with property when I was about 16, 17. So I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, light bulb went off, as most people do. But I realised you need money to get into property. So I started looking at ways to get into business. And one of the opportunities I came across was a cleaning business. So what I'd done is I'd started or co-hosted a networking event called the Property Hub, which
That's
is
where I met you, huh?
Which is where we met in 2016.
And the ones that were at Starbucks and stuff like that. Yeah.
It was there was one in Edinburgh. It was
Right,
a Starbucks.
that's
the one
right.
we had was in the Dram
And Woodlands Road.
in West End.
You had a classier one, did you?
Yeah, it was good because it was informal. So there was no format, so it was a little bit. It's just guys getting together, invested to chat. But one of the guys I started it with had 10 Airbnbs at the time, so 10 serviced apartments in Glasgow, and he was struggling to do the cleaning. So I seen an opportunity to take that on as my first client and just start a business around them. So I started off cleaning myself.
What age were you then?
I was 18.
That is awesome
So
because he's
yeah.
running a networking event at 18.
I was very shy, so I wasn't saying much because I had two co-hosts and they were doing all the talking. Right. It was my turn to talk.
That's great, man.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how it's kind of started.
Yeah.
And from this first client, Tony.
Did you look at like buy-to-let mortgages and think I can't get a buy-to-let mortgage yet for a few years, so I might as well just fucking go in and do a business associated with property and get myself experience.
Exactly. Yeah. So just get around people in property. And obviously the clients you get in Airbnb cleaning have property, so it's the kind of guys you want to get around. But yes, so it started off with him as a client, grew a business from there, and that's where it started.
And you scaled that quite a bit, didn't you?
Yeah, so we
So that's where your skill set kind of comes into the play with.
I obviously developed it. I didn't have any skill set because I was 18. Didn't have much experience in anything, but kind of the hunger and the drive to grow a business.
Yeah.
Was kind of started then. And looking back, it probably wasn't the best opportunity vehicle, i.e. the industry. I mean, how much can you charge to clean someone's house? And plus, it's a grudge expense, and we don't want to fucking pay it.
But you've just started that cleaners one of the best thing we've spent our money on.
But it's where it started.
Yeah.
And from there, you learn skills. And you might not get the results you get in better opportunity vehicles, but you learn all the same skills. So all I've effectively done is just change the opportunity vehicle, and the outcome is much different for the same amount of work. But yeah, so I started then. Over the next couple of years, took on a business partner, Yanni, who gave him 50% of the business, and he ran the operations. And at our height, I think we had 200 apartments under service across Glasgow and Edinburgh. And then last year, I sold the business in May.
Nice.
To focus on prime.
When you brought in the business partner, did you bring him in because of his experience and how he can add value to you, grow you as a businessman?
Yeah, I think he was very good at operations,
right.
Good with people. But to be honest, we're both young guys, like 19, 20. So, I mean, experience-wise, we don't have any. We just have a massive drive to just fucking make something happen. Yeah. And I really liked him. And he was my best man at my wedding. So we're still very close today.
And just to kind of recap on your property stuff, because we won't go into it in too much detail, but just to tell listeners, obviously, as well as a business owner and running Prime, that you're also property investor yourself, and so you've got a portfolio of buy-to-lets, haven't you? Yeah. And also flips you've been quite involved in as well.
Yeah.
So like how many again? Because I think you.
So me and Gemma started investing in 2020. We've got 8 buy-to-lets.
Yeah.
So
flip on the go at the moment.
Flip on the go just now.
Yeah.
So just to keep our money working, but not parking it.
Yeah, so keep it growing.
I'm sure I've heard you say somewhere that you're on the buy-to-lets, you're just kind of pausing that strategy at the moment. Is that still the case?
That is still the case, yeah. So
why is that?
Me and Gemma sat down and we realised, with interest rates and everything that was happening, we're trying to. So basically, my business was kind of on the side, and my main focus was on investing. But we don't have a lot to invest.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So we just flipped it. Why don't we focus on learning how to grow an extremely great good business, and then the investing can come after.
This is why I love Lewis, because he's a mad mind. Because I'm getting pelters last night at the event because we're off to Flying Start 2020, where everybody's getting G'd up in the room, and everyone's like, "Nick, you'd never bought a property last year. Like, what's happened to you?" But I'm in your sort of side of things.
I completely agree. I'm the fucking idiot that's done it the complete opposite way.
So you're like
100%. I'm up to build up. I'm all in business to build a business now to back pay fucking debt that you've got yourself in to pay down debt.
And
but
that's not that we don't think property is a good investment vehicle.
It's literally everyone is different. There's no right way to property.
Yeah,
it's just what you.
I think your way is clever. Like I think it's you're quite a clever and methodical guy that can figure out the picture, and you're young enough to fucking do either way really and make it work.
Yeah. I think views change as you get more information. I might see something different in a year's time. But just from where I've started to now, that's what I've realised, is that I've maybe started to put the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
Let's focus on learning how to create some money first, and then you can worry about investing.
Yeah.
The way I want to invest, because I like capital growth, I don't want to be buying high yielding, i.e. shite properties.
Yes.
Yeah.
By
I wanna
quality
buy
assets.
Quality assets I don't have to
Well, you're
sell.
selling a few through Prime, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? So you can see them.
Again, strategy.
Yeah.
People's strategy.
It's everyone's
People's
different.
strategy.
There's a market for everything.
Yep. And high yielding is good for cash flow.
Yeah. I've sold a lot of properties recently through Prime as well, and it's great. Like, people will buy them because, like you say, it's a high yielding property that's what people want.
That's
Some of our clients are cash buyers,
Yeah.
foreign, live in Saudi and stuff like that. They literally, that's what they want. They want the 50 grand.
Yeah. So that'll give them a 10, 11% return.
Yeah, which is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
If that's
Yeah.
their strategy. They've probably got income sources,
They've probably got a
Just
business
park the money.
elsewhere and just put the money in something.
and they prefer that.
Yeah.
No, but I'm definitely feeling like I'm aligning with your kind of vision as well. And we've had chats about this at the networking event about building the business first. And that, by the way, that's an asset as well in itself.
Absolutely is.
Oh, yeah.
And it's probably the highest returning endeavour you could do. Business. I mean,
But too many. Why is it people don't? Do you know why? The question is, why do people not go down that route at first, and they just want to be the
Sold the
property
dream.
investor?
Yeah.
sold the dream.
Exactly. They just want the fast track route to, you know.
In all fairness, I think the fast track route's probably that route.
Yeah.
You figure out how to make the money first and then
They
invest
don't want,
it.
so it's not the
Fast
fast track route. It's just that they can't be. I mean, we know it's hard work.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's very hard work, yeah.
But then, do you know what else is fucking hard work? Building a portfolio with zero money.
Yeah.
That's a whole lot of fucking hard work, because you need to develop a skill
That's
set
true.
to find money out of thin air, create equity out of thin air, refinance it, not get much cash flow and be leveraged. So I think both are fucking hard work. But the more I speak to you and guys like you that are talking about the trading business, like, if I had my time again, I would definitely. Because someone asked me at the Aberdeen networking event a few months ago, you know, if you were to start out again, what would you do? It's like, wouldn't do property until I made phenomenal money in business and learned how to be a businessman and create cash, and then bought properties as investments, not fucking try and build a business with property with no money. But I think that's a hard.
If you can do that. You can build a business from high yielding stuff.
Yeah.
But it's would you really want to hold 300 properties?
Nah.
Is there easier ways to do it? Is there quicker ways to do it?
When I think about the high yielding properties, I think about the legacy. If I leave 300 high yielding properties to my daughter, am I really going to be able to sleep at night knowing that she's going to be dealing with Jakey Pete for their rent and like just fucking like scumbags that she might not have to deal with them directly, but that's in her circle. Whereas if it was
For them.
20 high-end West End, I'm going to say Glasgow because you guys are from Glasgow, West End properties in Glasgow that don't yield as much, but they've got nice professional lawyers that rent these properties. Like, that's the type of assets you want to leave as a legacy. But
Talking about the business stuff, because that's what I kind of want to focus on today as well, because I think it's like you guys on the face of it seem to be flying as well. So like, what are the kind of sacrifices you need to make to kind of grow a successful business? Like, what does your daily routine look like? You know, what sort of hours are you working?
Well, the office is open 9 to 6. I try to work in the morning as well. So when I get up, I've got a home office, I just work in there and then finish at 6 with the guys. But as far as like sacrifices and stuff you need to do, we are reinvesting a lot of the money that we're making into advertising and into growing. Again, the longer you can delay gratification in anything, it's kind of a rule of life. You'll get better results in the future. But we're having to spend a lot of money in advertising, marketing, radio ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, everything. It's very expensive.
yeah,
So we could be taking money off the table at this point, but we'd rather keep reinvesting to growing our brand.
Yeah. And if you guys sat down and got like a vision for that, like about obviously where you want to get to, is that conversations you need to have? If you're getting involved with a business partner, because I don't have a business partner, so I've never had these conversations, but what would you advise if somebody is setting up business together? Like, what's your kind of tips on that right from the start?
So as far as business partner, you need to have complementary skill sets. If you're both the same person and you just go into business because you like spending time together, you've just got two of the same thing.
Or if you're just mates or something like that.
So it needs to complement. We're lucky me and John are also on a kind of friend level. We get on really well. We align on a lot of things, but skill set wise, it's a very good match. So you need someone that complements what you are. If you don't have that, there's no point in going into business with someone.
It's a good point. And like, I've listened to podcasts and stuff like that in the past, and they say right from the start, make sure you're sitting down and like writing out your values and stuff like that, where you want to get to and stuff, you know, so you're on that journey together and you know exactly where you're going.
Yeah.
Probably something that we should have done right at the start of the podcast. 4 years in, mate.
We're still going, so
I must be doing something right.
We've got complementing skill sets. One's positive, one's negative.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. There you go.
Oh no, sorry. Nick's been rebranded today. Positive Ponte for 2024.
So that's what you want to be.
Yes.
Predicted property prices.
Yeah, mate.
Plus 2% by the end of the
He's changing. He's changing.
Aye, so obviously getting on to you know, marketing and growing the business, because you guys, like you say, you're putting a lot. I mean, this stuff doesn't come cheap, so you're putting a lot of investment back in there.
Investment in staff as well, though, haven't you? You've got a decent team forming quickly.
We've got young guys coming in.
Yeah,
just hired a new salesman and an admin assistant.
Right.
But the guys have all hired, have all done courses, so they've gone through that route. They've tried to source themselves. They've realised this is not as easy as it looks. And what we look for in new starts is, one, being really hungry, and two, knowing they know nothing.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything. I still consider myself not to know anything.
Hungry to learn and grow.
Yeah, they need to know they know nothing and they need to be hungry. And the rest we can train.
How many have you got at the team now?
So we've got 3 salesmen, we've got 1 media guy and 1 admin assistant.
Right.
Is the media guy just come in a couple of days a week or something, or one day?
Full time.
Full time.
That's how we can get all the content.
By the way, this is what I want to say to people. If you're not following these guys on Instagram, is it just Prime Property on what is it?
It's on our personal, so it's Lewis Property Auctioneer, John Property Auctioneer.
All right, and then you just basically collaborate. So the videos are class, by the way, really good. But that's obviously your videographer.
That's down to Nathan. Nathan,
give him a shout.
Who is incredible at what he does.
So he's now full time, are you?
He's full time.
That's a great. I love that mindset, because most businesses won't be like that. No, we don't need somebody to do like employ somebody full time to do our social media or do videos and stuff like that. But the power in that,
it's been incredible, because we don't only use him for organic content. It's also for ads. Facebook ads. We use him for that. So our ads are incredible thanks to him. We're just using his resource for.
I want to ask you about the videos, right? Because some of the videos that I find the funniest and the most engaging are when you're doing the calls to people, and you get these people on the line. And I think there was one. I don't know. They all make me laugh. But I was thinking to myself, how does that ever get out there? Like, in terms of does anyone ever call up and say, "Why are you using my call on your pages?" or anything like that? Do you need to ask permission from these people to use their voices, or how does that work?
So we've got a thing when people call in, all calls recorded.
Right.
We've not had anyone call in, but if they do ask us, then we just delete the video or whatever it is. But it's more to show what we do.
Yeah.
And we've had people that have seen their voices on the videos ask for more because they enjoyed it so much.
It's fascinating because
it's transparency as well.
You can hear them making the deals. Yeah. So they're phoning up the buyer, then they're phoning up the seller.
Right.
And it's doing really well on TikTok. TikTok's we've got one video that went viral. It was 210,000 views or something. But I was again absolutely slating the comments because it was.
What sort of comments?
Oh, of course, I'll let you
fucking cesspit TikTok.
I can't repeat them. But yeah, it's just the video was a guy had made an offer. It was accepted, negotiated, all good, and then before paying the invoice, he asked for a viewing. Whereas he's already negotiated on the sale.
Yeah.
So it's just me telling them, look, you've already negotiated the price, you've agreed to buy it. You know, what's happening? So it's just me going back and forth with them. And I was getting absolutely slated.
So they try to say you scammed them.
Yeah, auction houses are all whatever, whatever it was.
They do got a fucking bad rep, auction houses, and I like the fact that you're putting the transparency in the videos out there just shows that it's almost kicking the trend of what auction houses have seen in Scotland, like the bad name that some of them have given them in the past, that you guys are just going, well, here's the calls we're having, here's the business we're doing day to day.
Yeah. We've actually heard another auction house say about us, they can't be doing that. You can't put a face to this, to your name in this business. That's how they see it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, so is that because, we get the stories, we've talked to plenty of people, we've all probably talked to people where they've bought a property auction, they've not read the legal pack, they've bought a lemon, basically. Something's been wrong with the title, or something's been, or they've had to pull out at the last minute when it went to legals, and then they've lost the deposit. I mean, that's just the nature of it, isn't it? It's all there in writing, all the terms, isn't it? So,
I mean, people go to auction selling wise to get a result. And that result is through guaranteeing a sale through the deposit.
And that's the auction house's job, first and foremost.
We hold a deposit on behalf of the seller. So it's up to the seller, effectively.
Yeah.
if you had many angry buyers in your time, like obviously, like wanting to pull, I mean, you must get people like want to pull out, or it goes to legals and something comes up. Do you have to deal with those kind of conversations?
Not really, because we are property investors, so we understand what we're selling.
Yeah.
We're not just salesmen. So if someone's looking to buy something, we will do our best to facilitate a sale and a deal at a point that they'll be happy to buy. So the buyers are all very happy because they're getting excellent deals, and the sellers have got a result where no one else could get a result.
Yeah.
Maybe they had to take a wee bit less than they wanted to, but the buyers has got a cracking deal.
Here's a good question for you. Well, I think it's a good question. You might not think it's a good question because it puts you on the spot. But like, so let's not get involved in mentioning names, right? But there's another auction company, and you see all the time they're selling properties round about $5,000 that are they're earmarked for demolition, right, in a certain area in Port Glasgow. So
I think I know who you're talking about.
Really? So basically, if the seller came to you with properties like that, would you put them through your auction?
No.
Right.
We've not actually had anyone coming to us with that kind of.
No, but would you kind of draw the line at, like, this is just not worth it for us, like, I mean, for our reputation?
If we were to be given something like that, we haven't yet, but if we were, we would disclose to whoever's looking at it, this is the situation. If you want to buy this, you can.
I mean, they might well do. I've not really looked into like their marketing material or what the actual information they give out. So they might well say this flat's going to get demolished, basically. So your $5,000 is going to fucking basically disappear.
It's just the market message, being upfront and being transparent with what you're selling. Yeah, because surely it doesn't serve anyone to sell something that's not being transparent.
I just wanted to know, like, what is there a kind of moral kind of standpoint where you would say, nah, this is just no worth going down this route. We can't just sell any old shit.
A specific situation, because I mean that is like you're buying something that is going to be demolished.
Yeah.
But if there's issues with flats, which is there is a lot of issues with flats.
Yeah.
That is why the buyers can get them at that level, and we want to work with buyers to try and get them good deals, and so they can do the purchase. Yeah. Because buyers become sellers eventually. If we screw over a buyer, then that's the X. Then you see the reputation with the auction house you're not going to mention. It's because buyers have been burnt because they don't care. It's just like one sale.
You guys get a lot of guys that will trade properties, that will build portfolios, that will buy a chunk, sell a chunk back, keep some. So that's got to be become business.
Portfolios, you just sold a couple of units, whatever.
Aye.
But we do want to. We are here for a long time.
Yeah.
And to do that, you need to build the right reputation.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to ask is with auctions now, it used to be like traditional auctions, you'd go into a big room and all the rest of it. Like, is it really an auction can you really call yourself an auction? Is it more you're just an estate agent, like,
it's the modern method of auction, I think it's called.
Right. Is it the modern estate agency almost as well? Like, is it?
Yeah. I mean, it's. Do you know what? I was speaking to an Australian guy who was looking to sell something, and he was telling me that 90% of sales in Australia are via auction.
Really?
Any sale. So it's not for problem properties or investment properties, like anything, and it's all done on the property. So like, there's an auctioneer at the property, and all the people. It's like a group viewing. Yeah. They all come and you just hold an auction then.
Pretty cool.
But so effectively that's the work. So people can make offers before the live auction date, and then if it's accepted, they pay that deposit, and it's sold under auction terms.
What are you finding?
Oh, sorry, mate.
No, sorry. I was just going to say, what are you finding a lot of the stock coming to? Like, I suppose just giving feedback back to the listeners on what opportunities are out there. Like, what stock are you seeing that's coming to the market? What you seen doing well? What are you seeing as a good investment, I suppose?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have been trying to sell with estate agents that are just not getting any results. So maybe the sales are falling through. Mm-hmm. I think it's 1 in 3 sales are falling through. I think that's a stat I've heard with estate agents, because there's no
guaranteed.
Yeah, there's no skin in the game for the buyers, so they can make offers willy-nilly. And then
I think this is the biggest problem with the Scottish property system, and the fact, and this is where I think the auction plugs that gap. Because Gemma's doing a flip, puts the flip on the auction on the property where a normal traditional estate agency spent blood, sweat, and tears for 6 months, puts it on the market. Someone fucking strings them along for 3 months. D-Day pulls out.
Yeah,
you're fucking.
There's nothing you can do.
Nothing you can do at all. Whereas you put to auction, okay, people have got this negative perception that auction you're going to be able to sell cheap. Not necessarily. You put in auction terms and someone offers. Like myself and Linda Martin, I spoke about it 17 times. The whole industry needs shake to the point where if someone's offering, it should be a $5,000, $2,000, something non-refundable deposit that you're in this deal, you're secured.
Yeah.
But they're fucking not. And it's time and time again, like say 1 in 3 properties falling through.
Yeah. And you know what, we try and, because we want to get a sale for our clients, we will extend completion dates as long as the clients are happy with it. So people can buy with mortgages.
Mm-hmm. I know that John doesn't like me saying this because obviously you don't want this to happen, right? But this is fucking for investors out there.
He's not here, so
I know,
we can
but,
say it.
but like this is a good point, right? See, for investors that are actually selling a property, why not sell it at fucking auction? Because we've done this a couple of times where the person that's bought on their auction terms have pulled out, and John will fucking slate me for saying this. I love it because you get 10% off the fee. Now, obviously, for him, he's not liking that because he's like, well, fucking hell, we want the deal to go through. But the way I'm looking at it from a buyer is I'm getting a guaranteed sale, and if I don't, I get 10% or I get a portion of it. So when I put it back on, I still get my sale going through
Actually, that's a
eventually.
good point. How many sales actually? What is your fall through rate? Like, do you have any numbers you can share? Or like,
Off the top of my head, it's probably less than 5%.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of sales that fall through.
right?
It's a shame. It's a shame.
It's a new strategy.
It's a shame. My brother actually sold one with John right in the start as well, and his sale fell through. And I remember he was kind of like, oh, for fuck's sake, that person that was buying the flat, sell through. I was like, you're getting $7,000. And he's like, what? I was like, you'll be getting $7,000 on top of that. And then when you get the sale through,
You just don't get any of that, do you? Do you just get any of that?
We take our fee from the
10%.
deposit.
From the deposit,
From the
so you
deposit.
will, even if it
Yeah,
falls through.
Definitely.
Oh, that's
because
good.
it's a sale. I mean, how you
yeah,
get money.
exactly.
That's good. Yeah.
But I think a lot of investors don't know that. Like they
It's
don't.
not a sale if it falls through.
No, but we've taken a deposit, we've agreed a sale.
Aye, okay, the 10%.
Yeah, the
It's a
10%.
sale figure. Yeah,
Yeah.
that you're- obviously.
So we deduct our fee, pay you the rest, then we'll just find another buyer.
What are the fees again?
So fees we charge is 2% plus VAT for a seller.
So that'd be 2%. If it fell through, it'd be 2% of the 10% of whatever it was.
Of the purchase price.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Or and the minimum is 2,000 plus VAT. So it's a minimum fee of 2,000.
And like in terms of, I would imagine that, because I see you've got the wee board up in the office. So this is the thing about being that transparent with all your videos. Like we know what goes on and stuff like that, which is great. Like I feel like I know, like I would definitely trust you, and it's that works. But obviously we know about like how many properties you're selling and all that, because you've got all the wee numbers and
Yeah, we put it all out there
and all that. So like,
whether it's good or bad, I don't know.
so I would imagine like it's obviously, you're probably finding it a lot easier to get the stock on, but how about actually selling it? Is that obviously the challenge to?
So the good stuff, the stuff that's really sexy, can sell within hours.
No bother.
So it comes on and straight away.
Aye.
But yes,
For my shit sits for months.
but yeah, I mean, some people have, we have some stuff that sits for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, it comes down to the seller's expectations. We're happy to sign something up.
Yeah.
But really, expectations need to be managed. And
Yeah.
we do get most of our stuff is people coming to us previously having gone to an estate agent, and it's just not happened. So they know what they need. Just get it away, and that way buyers can pick up some good.
There's 74 Google reviews.
Wow.
4.8 stars. I won't tell you what they've been saying about John. The couple that have given a 1 star. I wouldn't say it, but I mean 74, and you've got 4.8 out of 74. Whereas if you go to other auction companies, I think you'll find
They've actually the other auction houses have got some good reviews now, but whether they're genuine,
whether they're genuine.
I think they've seen our reviews.
Are you finding a huge increase in the tenanted property sales in through the auction house?
Yeah, definitely.
That's got to be
Yeah.
a niche
So what's
that you guys are good
happening
at.
there then?
Definitely. So there's you'll be aware of people that have very low rents that can't do anything about it, and they need to sell.
This must be tricky for, I suppose, John, is that sales guru to try and fucking get a sale, because you're selling a property, the seller's not going to want to give a huge discount, and it's not like it's like we were talking about, like in the lower end stock being good yielding, but right now they're not good yielding because the rents are low and the market value is maybe 30% higher. How are you managing to get around that problem to actually get a sale?
I mean, our job is to get sellers offers.
Yeah,
that is all we can do, and the market will decide what the property is valued at. Ultimately, if we've got a buyer who's ready to take it to pay a deposit right now, you'll find that we can actually close a lot more deals, and maybe we've got someone that can offer you this, but they can complete in 3 months, and we don't know if they'll complete. So that's a good closing mechanism for us, that we've got someone that's ready to go pay a non-refundable deposit right now. What do you think?
Yeah, I guarantee he's better than a maybe.
Yeah,
and
if it's something they've had for a while, it's been bothering them, they're giving them issues, so they might just be inclined to take it. So I would always say to anyone looking at auction properties, always make an offer. Doesn't matter how cheeky it is, just make the offer and we can ask the question. Because it's not our job to say no.
Yeah.
We will present it to the seller with the terms that you can pay the deposit today, and that can be a great closing mechanism to you getting a great deal.
And there's no point in you getting emotional about it as the agent, because like I've had it before where you've like the estate agent almost takes it personally when you go in with a cheeky or low ball offer, and they're kind of like, oh, taking it back and all that, and I wouldn't even waste my time with the client and stuff like that.
It's my offer now.
Like, well, that's why they haven't sold with them. The client comes to us and we get it sold. Because it's not our job to say no.
Yeah.
Does it sometimes, is it a bit of an awkward conversation when you phone up the seller and you're like, I've had that, or you just kind of, are you over that now? You kind of like,
this is what the market's telling you it's worth. Here's an offer. If it's too low for you and you can't take it, that's fine.
But the sellers get emotional, don't they? So they would take that as an insult sometimes. So
it's up to us to manage how we deliver it.
It's about people skills, right? How you deliver it.
What about like the managing the expectations of the clients that are coming on board with a property? Like if you've got clients, I suppose, that are wanting something unrealistic, do you just turn that business away and say, look, it's not for us, you're not going to list it, or do you just list it and like you say, take their offer and here's your offer?
We'll tell them what it's going to be worth. But ultimately, people can say they want this amount, and then once they've got a real offer that's going to pay a deposit right now, sometimes they can change what they're.
How many of the properties actually go to the online auction process, the bidding?
All of them.
All right.
All of them. So they'll all go through the live auction. But if, let's say the auction's in 2 weeks, if we list it right now and someone sees it right now, they can buy it right now. So every day's auction day effectively. It's the same terms.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And there's quite a bit of competition now in this sort of space, isn't there? Like, I mean, like, obviously it seems to be, like you were talking about with the tenanted properties as well, it seems to be over the last couple of years, this has really been a big market that a lot of people try to tap into. So how do you feel like you kind of, why would somebody go with yourselves rather than any of the other agents or auctions out there?
I mean, we're not the cheapest. We're definitely not the cheapest. I mean, there's people now doing no fees at all for sellers. There's other auction houses that do that as well. But we are investors, and we know how to talk to investors. So we know how to get, I mean, you might pay less fees, but you might get less of a sale price. So it's a false economy. And you get what you pay for. I mean, our offer to the market is we can sell your property in 28 days. Where you set the price, there's no market fees, and it's no sale, no fee. That's a pretty good offer. So there's no risk up front. They decide what it sells for, and if we don't sell it, they pay nothing.
What has one that's been sat for 3 months?
That's my expectations.
I think we've sold stuff for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Straight away.
But that's the expectations of like that's sitting there. It's tenanted. I want to get it. I don't need to sell it. But if you give me an offer, of course I'm going to sell it. Everything's for sale.
That's something you say, isn't it?
What price is the price? I actually just got the tenant evicted from the one that I listed months and months ago, and it was in all fairness to John, like he fucking put it on. But I had to go through an eviction process for 2 years to get them out. So they were evicted like 2 days ago. And when I cleared out, I meant this phone John and he's like, right, you've probably got a chance of selling it now. The fact that it's empty, because before it was shitty tenant, shit state, like needs to manage that tenant out, then get the value added. And it's a decent enough deal, but someone buying it with all those situations, it's not tricky,
because buyers are wanting viewings, and a lot of time it's difficult, right, to try and get access and all that. So what challenges do you face there? And do you just need to say sometimes no viewings?
I mean, for tenanted stuff we don't do viewings. For tenant stuff we have video tours that we do at the start, which are professional, so that shows the inside. And if an investor comes to us and needs to view it before talking numbers, they will never buy that property. As an investor, you'll have done your numbers, you know roughly what you need to buy it for. if you need to view it, then we can do our best to organise it, but we need to talk numbers first.
Yeah.
You're wasting your time, you're wasting our time. And this is why probably estate agencies going down the pan in that sense as an industry, is that these guys spend all their time doing viewings and they're charging nothing. So, I mean, our money's made in the office, and that's on the phone doing deals with buyers and sellers. We want to get stuff sold because that's how we get paid.
Yeah.
But like, see your 8 buy-to-lets, like, you know, I presume, did you view them or did you not? Like I'm just thinking about you as an investor.
I knew my numbers. Like
on your investor sides, you know, like moving forward.
I mean, John, when he buys, he doesn't view. He buys tenanted properties.
So I don't know. I'm still. I would like to view, man. I would like to view.
You're a control freak.
I don't like not knowing. Yeah, like even well, maybe now with video.
But that's what I'm saying. What you going to know from?
What is it you want to see? Because if there's a video tour, there's a home report, there's everything. What is it you need to go and see? Just if it's there. Is that the thing?
True. No.
If you go and see like the flats or the properties that you sell and you'll buy, what do you need to see? If it's a 1-bed or a 2-bed flat, that you know the end value, you know what they're worth, you know what the rental income is, you know what goes wrong with it.
A drive-by, you can look at the building, you can go out the back close, you can check. Aye, and then if you've got the video's decent. Like, I quite like those Matterports. I don't know if you do them, but they're quite handy because you can go right. See, my problem with a video is that you can go in and you can basically, there could be a ceiling that's fall down. You might not see that in a video. Whereas that Matterport, you can actually look up at the ceiling and stuff like that.
Ultimately, if you're uncomfortable with offering before doing a viewing, then just imagine the worst from what you can see. Yeah, and then offer on that basis. That's it. This could have taken another $5,000 off it. This could need a kitchen, take another $2,000 off it.
Exactly.
That's how people do it. Yeah. So people are saying, you know, how can I make an offer? Like, just imagine the worst. Yeah. All your concerns, imagine it's the worst. And what's your offer then? Yeah. And if they still can't give a number, then
they're not wasting time. What's the point?
Just picking off tasks. Organise 30 viewings this month to learn about property. We don't want to be subsidised.
So speaking to our audience then, who are investors who are potentially phoning you guys up to try and get deals. From the inside, you know, tell us what's the best way to try and build up a relationship with you and to try and get the deals, because obviously, like, I'm thinking, do I just go on and do I just email an offer in, or do I pick up the phone? What do you prefer, and how do you basically gauge people?
However you want to do it. Like, call us. All of our guys are on WhatsApp with people that inquire. Like, we're actively trying to get these sold. So if you're interested, pick up the phone, email, whatever, and we'll give you everything we need for you to make an offer. But the main thing is, have your funding in place. Like, know how you're going to fund it. Because you do get people that make offers, and
the big question is, like, people keep coming up to us and asking us about portfolios, right? So everyone's wanting portfolios at the moment. So are you getting any portfolios through? Or?
We do get some. I mean, we're selling off, again, back to investing in high yielding stuff that's maybe not the best. We're selling something for a client. It's like he's got 30 properties that he bought back in the good days, and leveraged up to the hilt, never paid down his debt, was making a lot of money through the low interest rates, but then that changed and he's underwater on all of them. And it's almost like an asset management job now, because you need to be like, right, this one has equity, we can sell this one to then be able to sell this one at a loss. So yeah, we do get portfolios, but even if a portfolio comes to us, I would rather sell it as single units, because the seller will get more money.
Right. Because you were speaking a lot about that as well, saying that people at the Glasgow Network event last night, they keep asking about portfolios, and I was speaking with Salimia at the Dundee event last night, and people are obsessed with portfolios, but then when they go and break down, I'm looking at 12 properties or 14 properties, and they see a few shit ones in it, they then all panic because I'm buying a portfolio. But this is like, it's not been that emotional to it. Buy the 14 and then send fucking 3 auction, go and sell them at whatever yield, and you know you don't want them, or they're a bit of risk, or they don't suit your criteria, or they're the low stock that you don't really want in the portfolio. Fuck them on, sell them.
I think the attraction of the portfolios is just lately how it's become such kind of buzzes to avoid the ADS, isn't it? Because if you can get a transaction through and it's like 6 or more properties, it's like you're saving a heck of a lot of money.
But it's just doing your numbers. ADS, it's not the buyer that pays it, it's the seller that pays it. Because you're just going to offer less.
It's a good way to look at it.
It's a cost of the business, isn't it? You're going to factor in.
Yeah, so if you're going to offer $100,000, but you need to pay X amount in ADS.
Have you been seeing people picking up deals? Like, you're an investor yourself. Have you so have you transacted on deals, and you're sitting there going, this
all the time.
Every week he sends us, or John will send us through in the chats, and like, here's fucking the deal. And I was actually kicking myself at one that John was punting in the group chat the other week, and I fucking looked, and it was Chris Minchin at the bottom of Aberdeen. It's like in the Bastille Bar. It's a great deal. I was like, it's a fucking really good property actually.
Chris Minchin bought it.
I bought it from flat in Aberdeen. It's a brilliant one. Rod Stewart's got the penthouse one, and John and I were talking about.
Right.
It's
So
a
that
fucking
was a
crack.
repossession.
That was 1 year. 1 year.
Mate, there's guys doing incredible deals. Honestly, we want to put stock through the business because it grows our brand, and obviously we make fees from it. That's the priority. It's not buying the stock ourselves and putting the shit at auction. We want to put good deals out, and that's, I mean, some of the deals we come across are incredible.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good stuff. And like, you guys have got signs popping up all over the country now. So how does that work in terms of like, are you guys out on the road, going up and down all over the country? Or how are you managing to manage that in the different locations? Do you have to try and get subcontractors to?
So we don't like leaving the office. That's what we tell the guys.
Yeah.
The money's made on the phone. We've got a photographer who's incredible, Christoph. He runs photo video marketing. I don't know if you've seen him on Instagram.
Yeah, I've seen.
But he's incredible, and what he does is he goes out to the properties, photographs them, organises a survey with Graham Sibbald, and puts the board up. And he goes everywhere in the
And
country.
that's you coming in with your systems, basically. That's where you've got that. That's smart.
This was John's job at Future, wasn't it, for years, running it over the fucking country.
We drive about a fair bit. We realised that our money's made in the office. That's when we close deals. So let's get someone else to go out and
do that.
And if they're going out to property to take photographs, why not put up the board as well?
But then the argument would come on the other side from a seller. I'm just putting this out there because I'm sure you probably heard it before. Is that if I'm giving you a property to sell, I want you to be like hands-on out there, making sure everyone's good with the market and stuff like that. How do you kind of talk that one to the sellers?
So making sure the marketing is good, does that mean like
I want to know that you're out there like doing the viewing as the agent. Like I want to know you're doing the viewings, basically getting the best price and all the rest of it. I want to know that you're making sure that the property's in a good condition in terms of like when it comes to the viewings and stuff. But I guess you're saying like viewings, we don't really do them. So I guess
if we need to do a viewing to sell something, we will. But 9 times out of 10, people are happy to buy them as they are.
I think the majority of your buyers from auction are investors.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm assuming you get a couple of owner occupiers that
we get loads. We get loads of owner occupiers, and it's again, as I said, you can buy with a mortgage.
Yeah. I think they'll want to view the properties as an owner. Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
And if it means getting the deals, because our priority is selling the deal.
Yeah.
Selling the property. So if we need to do viewings, we will do it. We've organised viewings all over the place.
If you can get access.
But the main thing is talk to people that are actually going to buy it.
Yeah.
And deal with them. Don't just waste time filling up diaries of viewings. We want to get things sold.
You must get a lot of time wastes as well, man.
Well, that's our job, to filter through
the shit.
And you can very quickly figure out if someone is serious on the phone.
I bet you that is a skill that develops when you're on the phone to people, how you can quickly gauge. Is there any key kind of indicators?
No, because you'll tell them how to fucking get around it.
What are the things that people come out with that kind of send off the alarm bell straight away?
Not knowing how they're going to fund it is the biggest one.
Is it when they come on and say, "Oh, mate, I'm a cash buyer"? Is that like
okay? So what does that mean? It's like, well, the bank's going to give me the cash and I'm going to buy it. Okay,
this is
you got a wee tester question.
But that's the fucking key with Prime though, because you guys are investors and you know the tricks of the trade.
Like we know the same from the other side. So we know who's serious.
If I pick up the phone for an estate agent and say I'm a cash buyer, they'll just go okay and tell the seller I'm a cash buyer and then I've got a good deal, but I'm using a bridging loan or I'm still using a lending or I'm still using whatever. But you're on, because you're on that other. Yeah. You play both sides. You can almost say, well, what cash?
And also, like, however you want to fund it, can you pay a deposit today?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the main thing. If you can't, then you're not a cash buyer, are you?
Do you do what sort of due diligence do you do in the buyer? Do you ask for proof of funds and like that, or is it just...
Yeah, we do like proof of identity, all that, all the AML stuff you need to do.
Right.
But if someone makes an offer, I'll tell you the process. So someone makes an offer to us, either will be before the auction. Someone makes an offer through the website. We call them and ask them, how are they planning to fund it? What's their plans with the property? Because if it's tenanted and they want to live there, it's not going to work. Yeah. And do they understand the auction terms in the process?
Yeah.
If all the things are ticked, then we present the offer to the seller. The seller comes back with a counter or accepts it. We then send the invoice to the buyer for the deposit, and then only once that's paid, the property is secured.
Right. And then it's 28 days.
28 days from then.
Is a 28 days quite strict on them, or is it by negotiation if the buyer says, look, I can't complete on 28 days, I take it that sellers would be like, okay, you can wait.
We've extended it plenty of times.
Yeah.
I mean, sellers,
because I've paid 10%, you know they're infinite.
they're serious, and as long as they're trying doing their best, I mean, there's already a 7-day grace period after that we include. Yeah. And then after that point, it's up to the seller, but we will do our best to negotiate that.
You can probably sniff out the bullshitters after that point if you think it is, and then it's your job to advise the client whether you think that they're just at it.
I mean, we do that, but sellers do want to get them sold. Okay, 10% is good, but they want the money. They need the money to buy something or whatever it is.
Or the mortgage paid off.
So they will extend it, and it's one of those things. As long as the buyer works, we want to work with the buyers to try and get this deal done, because until it's done, no one's really winning.
Exactly. And what are the main motivators at the moment? You obviously mentioned there about the rising interest rates, landlords getting out and stuff like that. What are the other big reasons you're seeing for people?
So we actually do surveys on our clients. So the main reason is that they've tried to sell it before and it's not gone. So they've used an estate agent. The second reason is that it's tenanted, and they're struggling to sell it. And the third reason is just it needs a lot of work. That could be they've inherited it, don't have the money for the renovation, whatever it is. So that's the top 3 reasons people sell through us.
Okay. And then just getting back to the business side of things, and like for example, last night, he's a great guy, comes to our networking events, a young guy who's a joiner actually, so he got a joinery business, and he came up to me at the end and he's like, I'm like you, I'm trying to focus on building the business, I hear you've taken on a couple of new members of staff and all that. How did you find that process? And I was like, mate, it was hard. I left it far too late. I should have done it 2 years earlier. I would have been much further ahead. Just like, I need to try and get somebody, because I'm just on the tools day in, day out. And I'm not able to go out there and price more jobs or bring in more business. So for those younger people out there, because I know obviously you can appeal to young people because you're still young yourself, what would be your kind of... if somebody's in that situation where they're just stuck being a self-employed, effectively, they've created a job for themselves, haven't they? I listen to a guy called James Sinclair,
right,
on YouTube, and he just talks about a lot of time you can just create a job for yourself by starting a business. People say they've got their own business, but really they've just got a job.
Yeah, and they stay. It's just like a highly leveraged job.
So they're just like busy fools, which I was for like 3 years. I mean, I still am too far heavily involved, but I want to make sure everyone's ticking good until I hand the full lot on to like a manager or something like that, So you got any tips or anything like that about recruiting your first staff, and do you just need to
I think it's like you need to know what work for the outcome you want. What does he actually want from the business? Do you want to be able to step away from it eventually? Do you want to continue running it? Do you enjoy it? It's just like, what is the outcome, and work backwards. It's kind of like investing. Yeah. What is the end result?
Reverse
How much is it going to cost you? Right, this is my offer. Forget what the home report says, whatever. But in terms of business, it is just working to what you want. So in terms of your business, I mean, what is it you kind of want to do with the lettings? What's the kind of end result for you?
The end result is that I have like a management, like somebody who's running like an office manager or something like that, then I have the staff and all that, and I know that all the processes are there. Everything's going to the standard that I would expect from if I was a landlord and I was having my properties managed, that it would be to that standard. Everything was getting managed well. Eventually, I don't want to be dealing with landlords. I don't want to be dealing with tenants. Eventually, should have said that because all my landlords were.
I had.
Do you know what I mean? Eventually, I'm that business is running by itself.
Yeah, I think I've always had that mindset as well. Like, you do every job and for years and years and far too long, and you don't grow. And I like what you guys have done, like how you've expanded so quickly in business by growing the team quickly. And it was something that Dundee had Evelyn Foster speaking from Keller Williams today at the Dundee event. Phenomenal. She says something about hiring staff, because someone asked that question, and she says they think about the bigger picture of, but it's a 25 grand a year salary. It's not 25 grand. It's what's over the next 30 days. What's over the next 60 days, right? It's only a grand or 2 grand. You need to find that money then for them to add the value. And if they don't add the value, then they're not bringing value to the business. And when she said that, actually fucking took quite a note. I thought that's
You
quite.
also get paid in arrears, so you've got a whole month of them.
Aye.
How do you work
value
out your
is-
guys? Are they commission based?
So they get a basic, basic salary, and then it's all uncapped commission.
Right.
They get paid on each sale.
Nice.
Um,
So they've got huge potential upside as well by
yeah,
working with
no,
you guys.
absolutely. You
So
want-
they're in, I like that because they're incentivized, so they're going to come in like quite hungry,
Hungry,
to
yeah.
see the potential.
they want to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And to do that, they need to provide a fucking excellent service
Aye.
and get deals done.
Put the graft in. Yeah.
But just on the kind of getting involved in business, me and John are still very much on the tools, and it's because we love what we do.
Yeah.
And also, I don't have the experience John has, so I've had to spend the last year really doing every single part of the business to really get to grips with it.
And understand it.
And we want to be almost like the source, the seed for the staff coming in, so they can learn directly from us. I mean, they sit right in front of us, so. In terms of learning sales and stuff like that, they should fucking be paying John to you know, sitting beside him, because the amount they learn is incredible, and it is really about, you know, being there and cultivating the culture there, and making sure that they're growing as a team.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I mean, I do like what I do. Like going back to saying love what you do and all that. I do love what I do. Even going out and dealing with tenants and that. I don't mind that. I wouldn't say I love it. Possibly the might shit you get sometimes, but I don't get out of bed in the morning and say I can't bring myself to do this.
You've done it enough that now you're really good at it. So now you know how to train someone else to do it.
Exactly. So that for me, that's all about the next part of the growth is, and then ultimately I want to build a business so I can get my time back as well.
Yeah, but it's just like
Concentrating on
replacing tasks that are for something that's higher leverage for you.
Aye.
So if you were doing your bookkeeping at one point, you can then replace that task, pay someone to do that task for you, and you've got that time back to put in something that has higher leverage. So it's just trading. You're just trading your time up and up and up and up and you're just adding leverage to the point where you're not involved in the day to day. But there's still some people involved. But I think to do that, you need to have people that are incentivized.
Yeah.
So equity is a big thing, especially for guys that are doing sort of MD roles, giving them equity and giving them a piece of the business to then act as if it's their business. And that's kind of what you want if you want to step away.
Who's somebody's going to put the care into it, basically.
Absolutely,
so
'cause it's not their baby. They don't care. They're on a salary.
They're going to be like, come 5 o'clock, I'm out here. Aye.
Yeah.
And if something's shit hits the fan, they're going to be like, I'll deal with it tomorrow or whatever.
That's how can you do that? That is a skill set in itself. Man, that is the ultimate leverage in terms of skill set, is knowing how to build a team. But to do that, you need to know what to look for.
Yeah.
And to do that, you need to have gone through each stage.
So what's your goal with Prime then? Would that be in the future? Would you step back away from the day-to-day tools, or would you always see yourself being right in there?
I think we'll always be in there. We want to focus a lot on new business and bringing on more clients and stuff.
Aye.
But there's no point in bringing on more clients when your system isn't good enough.
Right.
Because effectively the best type of marketing is referrals.
Yeah.
So we want people to have such a good experience with our business that they just refer business. That's free marketing. And it's direct. I'll go into marketing. So direct response marketing
is a good one.
So direct response marketing is, paying £1 to get £2 back. Facebook ads, whatever. That's a linear growth, and this is something Alex Ramosi talks about. It's linear growth in terms of new business, whereas referrals is only quadratic. It's exponential in terms of growth. Sorry, it's exponential. So it means if you get one client, they refer 2, they refer 4.
Okay,
do you know what I mean?
Costs you zero, but
it costs you zero.
multiplies.
that was in his latest book. I just read that one, Ramosi.
$100 million leads.
Yeah, that one. That's a good one.
So you need to. The best type of marketing is your product. I mean, Apple, do they do a lot of marketing on? I mean, they've just got a tribe that buy whatever's new just because it's Apple. It's brand. So there's a wee thing he says, right? So you only know how to sell because you don't know how to market, and you only know how to market because you don't know how to build a product. So you only know how to sell because you don't know how to market. So you've got so few leads that you need to be really good at converting them into sales because you don't have any. The next level up is you know how to market and you know how to generate inbound leads, but you don't know how to build a product that does that for you. The ultimate is building the product.
Yeah, getting the product good.
Good. You're a big Hermosi fan then?
Massive. And I've forgot my nose strip today.
You were wearing that, weren't you?
I was.
Oh man, do you know this guy?
Yeah, I've seen him online.
I'm not a huge. I mean, I'm not like I've listened to his podcast and all that. I like the book, but the podcast, I'm like, not really getting it. I'm more a Gary V. Love Gary V, but he's a bit old school now.
Maybe you're old school.
Yeah.
He's getting. I mean, like, see now, looking back on it, like early days of starting. Like 5 years ago when I was all in on Gary V, listening to loads of stuff, he's like, it's fucking put, like your eyeballs should be burning, like be up till like 3 a.m. That's really bad advice, actually. Like really fucking bad advice.
Yeah.
Like that's not good for your health, man. That's heading for a fucking
burnout,
heart disease or cancer.
Yeah. I think it's the difference is he's talking about inputs, how much input you need to put into anything. But we all know that working harder sometimes isn't the answer. It's doing the right things. So people don't, it's like steps, right? People get really far in very short periods of time. It's not because they're faster than you, it's just because they take longer strides because they do the right things. It's doing the highest leverage tasks.
Work smarter.
We're just about time just to finish off. While we're on the nose plaster, do you put yourself in these ice baths as well, or anything else that you would advise people do?
I mean, again, that's something he says. The best morning routine is just get up and fucking work.
Right. And so you like switching on early morning, doing a bit of work early.
Yeah, 6:30 straight into the home office. Don't do anything. I just work. It's the highest leverage stuff I can do that day with no distractions.
And the standing desks, mate. Yes.
Yeah. Do you like them?
I got one ages ago. Mine's is more fancy than yours. Mine's is electronic up and down.
Yeah.
You swear by them, don't you?
I love it, mate. Love the standing desk. I even went as far as to get the treadmill that goes underneath it. I was on the treadmill, man, doing all that. Like fucking.
Could do 20,000 steps in a day while he's working.
I was fucking like 50,000 steps a day. Like,
good fun.
I've done a marathon by the time you finish your
my emails and that. And then AI, of course.
I was asking you about the
game changer for
the picture thing.
Yeah,
it's so cool.
Oh, amazing. I mean, it's just started because if you think about it, it's just literally started. Because
it's such in its infancy, isn't it? I think
like ChatGPT probably will like probably like the early days of when it was like the early days of Facebook. What was it like? Friends Reunited or MySpace or something? I heard somebody talking about this, and that'll probably be the same with ChatGPT in like 10 years' time. Somebody will come in. Like, I mean, Microsoft, I think they're already ploughing a lot of money into it, but
it's scary amazing. What's going to happen. I don't know. You know what they're saying, that they thought that it'd be like with AI and robots and stuff, it would be the low skilled sort of blue collar jobs that would be replaced, where it's actually the opposite.
Yeah,
it's the creatives that's being replaced first. Graphic designers, fucking all that kind of stuff. You can literally get it.
Well, look what's happened to that. We use that Opus clip to get the shorts and the reels.
So you use AI to edit the podcast?
No, we get the YouTube link and you can literally just copy and paste it and it will produce you like 20 clips within a couple of minutes. I mean, it's not bang on yet. It's still got a bit. It's getting a bit. It's developing it, but it's a bit to go because it kind of it doesn't crop the person right in the frame and all the rest of it. But what a time saver that is, and all these people that I mean, I don't know about you, but I get all these emails from these creative people. They're like, I can do you like all these reels and stuff for your social media and stuff like that. I'm like, well, you don't. That person has just become redundant because you can now do that with an app.
It's changing fast.
It's changing very fast. But people are so scared about it, thinking that AI is going to rule the world. But I think it's going to be the people that can control AI is going to rule the world.
You know how to prompt it properly.
Yeah. Interesting.
That's good. Well, enjoy the chat.
Yeah, and thanks a lot for having us.
Thanks for coming on. All the best to you and John. Sorry, John, if you're listening to this, mate. Sorry I got your name wrong at the start. John, yourself and John Morris.
So you fucking should be.
All the best. And I hope you, our guys, are going to rip it. And we already see you ripping it. And there's some real damage being done in that space. Like, these companies that have dominated the space for, 10 years are now, I think,
some fresh blood.
Yeah, I think they're really feeling it now. So well done, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, man. All the best to yourself and Gemma as well in the property endeavours.
Thank you very much. Keep going.